In this tutorial video, I shall give you the introduction of surface area and volume. So, watch the complete video. Now, let us see the very first topic of this chapter, that is volume. The amount of space that a substance or object occupies is called volume. Now let us see the example of cuboid. The amount of space taken by this cuboid to store it anywhere is called its volume. Similarly, if we are talking about a cylinder, the amount of space taken by this cylinder to store it anywhere is called the volume of cylinder. Now, the next topic is surface area. The surface area of a solid object is a measure of the total area that the surface of the object occupies. Let us see an example. Suppose I have considered a cube whose measurement of side is given A. As we know, a cube has 6 surfaces where each surface is a square. So the area of one surface will be equals to A into A, or we can say that A square. Area of one surface will be equals to A square. Since it contains 6 surfaces, hence the total surface area of this cube will be equals to 6 into A square. Now the next topic is curved surface. The curved surface is the rounded surface which is not flat. Let us see an example. Let us consider a glass. Here we can observe that the lateral surface of this glass is not flat. It is rounded. So its lateral surface is curved. Now let us see the second example of marble. Here the surface of marble is curved, or we can say that it is rounded in shape. Similarly, if we talk about a cylinder consists of two types of surfaces. First one is curved surface. This lateral surface is a curved surface, while top and bottom both are flat surfaces. Now let us consider this cuboid. As we know, a cuboid consists of 6 faces, 8 vertices and 12 edges. So these are the faces of the cuboid. So there are 6 faces of the cuboid. Similarly, the outer boundary of this cuboid is termed as edges of the cuboid. Now, vertex. The intersection of edges is called the vertex of the cuboid. Now, let us see some formula associated with this chapter. So, first of all, I will consider cube. The volume of the cube is equal to side into side into side, or we can say that side cube. If the measurement of side is given, then we can find out the volume by using this identity. Now the second formula is total surface area of cube. The total surface area of cube is equal to 6 into side square. As I have already explained, all the surfaces of a cube is a square, and area of one surface will be equals to side into side, or we can say that side square. So it is containing 6 surfaces, hence the total surface area of this cube will be equals to 6 into side square. Next formula is lateral surface area. Lateral surface area means area of 4 sides, 4 walls we can say. Lateral surface area of cube is equals to 4 into side square. It is also termed as area of 4 walls. Now the diagonal of cube is equals to root 3 into side. It means that it is the product of root 3 and side. Now let us consider cuboid whose dimensions are given. Length I have taken L, breadth I have taken B, while height I have taken H. So the volume of cuboid will be equals to length into breadth into height. Total surface area of cuboid will be equals to 2 multiplied by L into B plus L into H plus B into H. Lateral surface area or area of four walls is equals to 2 into under bracket length plus breadth multiplied by height. The diagonal of cuboid is equals to under root L square plus B square plus H square. Now let us consider the next geometrical shape, that is cylinder. Here this is representing the radius of this cylinder while this is representing the height of this cylinder. Radius can be taken as r while height can be taken as h. So the volume of cylinder will be equals to pi into r square multiplied by h. Here pi r square is the area of this base. The base is just like a circle, so area of this circle is equals to pi into r square. This area is multiplied by height to get the volume of this cylinder. Next one is total surface area of cylinder, that is equals to 2 into pi into r under bracket r plus h. It means that we have to add the curved surface area with area of top and area of bottom also. Next one is curved surface area. Curved surface area, or we can say lateral surface area, that is equals to 2 into pi into r into h, 2 pi r h. Now the next geometrical shape is cone. Here this apex is termed as vertex of the cone. This perpendicular line to the radius is termed as the height of the cone. This is termed as the radius, while this slant line is termed as slant height of the cone. The radius of the cone can be represented with r, height of the cone can be represented with h, while the slant height of the cone is represented with L. So the volume of cone is equals to pi r square h divided by 3, or we can say 1 upon 3 pi r square h also. Next one is total surface area of cone, that is equals to pi into r under bracket L plus r. Next one is curved surface area of cone, that is equals to pi into r into L. This is the curved surface. This is the curved surface and the area of this curved surface is equals to pi r L. Total surface area is equals to curved surface area plus area of this base. It means that if we will add the area of base with the curved surface area, then we can find out the total surface area. Now the next formula is L square is equals to h square plus r square. Since this is a right angle triangle, hence here we can use the Pythagoras formula. Slant height is equals to base means radius square plus h square. Now the next geometrical shape is sphere. A sphere has only curved surface. It has only one surface, that is curve. If the radius of this sphere is r, then the volume of sphere will be equals to 4 pi r cube upon 3, or we can say that 4 upon 3 pi r cube also. Since it has only one surface, so we can write here surface area of this sphere or total surface area of this sphere is equals to 4 pi r square. Now let us consider the problem associated with finding the volumes. Let us consider the very first example. Suppose we have to find out the capacity of a glass. Means what is the quantity of water stored by this glass. So in this case we have to find out the capacity of this glass. Whenever in any question we have to find out the capacity of a glass, capacity of a container, capacity of a room, then in all those cases we have to find out the volume of that shape. Now let us consider the second example. Suppose I am taking the example of this sphere whose radius is r. Now if the question is that find the material required to make this sphere, find the volume of material required to make this sphere. So in this case we have to find out the total volume of this sphere. The total volume of sphere will be equal to the material which is required to make this sphere. Now let us consider the third example of brick. If suppose we want to place this brick anywhere, then what is the space occupied by this brick? In that case also we have to find out the volume of the brick. The volume of the brick will be equal to the space occupied by it. Now let us see the problem associated with the walls and the brick. Suppose we are having a wall whose length is 50 meter. Suppose the length of wall is given 50 meter while breadth, this is the breadth of the wall, and suppose the breadth of wall is given 0.5 meter while the height of the wall is given 2 meters. Suppose the height of the wall is given 2 meters. This is the height of the wall. Now this is the brick. This wall is made up of these bricks, and suppose the dimension of this brick is also given. Suppose the length of this brick is given 10 centimeter, breadth of this brick is given 7 centimeter, while the height of this brick is given 5 centimeter. If we want to find out the number of bricks used to make this wall, then in that case first of all we have to find out the volume of this wall. We can find out the volume of this wall by using the formula L into B into H, because the length, breadth and height all are given. After that we have to find out the volume of one brick. That can be calculated by using the formula L into B into H. But while finding out the volume, we must be careful. Here length, breadth and height, the unit of length, breadth and height are given in meter, but here the unit of length, breadth and height are given in centimeter. So either we have to convert the meter into the centimeter or centimeter into the meter. After finding the volume of wall and volume of one brick, then we have to divide the volume of wall by the volume of one brick to get the number of bricks used to make this wall. Once again I can repeat this line. To find the number of bricks used to make this wall, we have to divide the volume of wall by the volume of one brick. Now let us see the next example, that is number of packets can be kept in cardboard box. Suppose this is the packet of a biscuit and this is the cardboard box. How many packet of biscuits can be placed inside this cardboard box? If the dimension of this cardboard box is given and the dimension of this packet of biscuit is also given, then we can easily find out the number of packets which can be placed inside the cardboard box. We have to use the same method which we were using in the previous question. First of all, we have to find the volume of this cardboard box by using L into B into H. Then we have to find the volume of one packet of biscuit. After that, we have to divide the volume of cardboard box with the volume of one packet of biscuit. Now consider a problem. A cylindrical container is filled with ice cream. Whole ice cream has to be filled in equal cones with hemispherical tops. Find the number of such cones which can be filled by ice cream. So, here we are having a cylindrical container. This is the cylindrical container which is filled with ice cream. Whole ice cream has to be filled in equal cones with hemispherical tops. So these ice creams has to be filled in this cone in such a way that the conical part is filled as well as there should be a hemispherical part at the top. So we have to find out the number of such cones which can be filled by the ice cream. So we have to find out number of such cones. To find the number of such cones, first of all, we have to find out the total volume of the ice cream. Total volume of the ice cream can be found out by using the radius and height of this cylindrical container. Here we can use the formula pi r square into h because this is the cylindrical container. So the volume of cylindrical container is always equals to pi r square into h. After that, we have to find out the volume of ice cream filled in one cone. Here, first of all, we have to find out the volume of conical portion, that is equals to 1 upon 3 pi r square into h. Pi r square into h. As well as we are having a hemispherical shape at the top also. The volume of hemisphere is equals to 2 upon 3 pi r cube. Pi r cube. If we will add these two volumes, then we can find out the total volume of ice cream used in one cone. After that, we have to divide the total volume of this ice cream by the volume of ice cream used in one cone, that is equals to this one. Means we have to divide pi r square h. Here we have to put the value of radius and height of this container. After finding the volume of this container, we have to divide the volume of this container by these volume, means 2 upon 3 pi r cube plus 1 upon 3 pi r square h. Then we can find out the number of such cones which can be filled by the ice cream. Now let us consider the problem associated with finding surface area. Let us see the first and second example. In the first example, we have to find out the area of iron sheet required to make the open box, while in the second example, we have to find out the area of iron sheet required to make the closed box. This first one is the open box whose top is open, top is not there, but here in the second figure, this is the closed box. To find out the area of iron sheet required to make this box, there is no need to find out the volume of this box. We have to find out the surface area. Since this open box contains only 5 surfaces, so we have to find the area of only 5 surfaces. So let us see how to find the area of all these 5 surfaces. We can find out the area of 5 surfaces by using the area of 4 walls or lateral surface area plus area of this base. After finding the lateral surface area and area of base, we can add both to get the area of iron sheet required to make the open box. While in the second case, suppose we have to find out the area of iron sheet required to make the closed box, we have to find out the total surface area of this box, because in this box iron sheet is used in all the 6 surfaces. So we have to find out the total surface area of this box. But in this box we have to remove the top part. Either we have to find out the lateral surface area and area of base, and after that we have to add both, or the second method is that we can find out the total surface area of this open box. After that we have to find the area of top, and then we have to subtract the area of top from the total surface area of this box. So we are having two different methods. First method, again I am explaining. First of all, we can find the area of four walls or lateral surface area, and then area of base, and then we have to add both. Second method, find the total surface area, then find the area of top and remove or subtract the area of top from the total surface area. Now let us consider the another example. In this example, I have considered two different boxes. This is the first box, this is the second box. Here we have to find out the area of cardboard required to make closed box for sweets. These two boxes are used for packing the sweets. Suppose we want to find out the area of cardboard used to make this first box. So here we can say that this box is cuboidal in shape and cardboard is used in all the 6 surfaces. So we have to find out the total surface area of this box to find out the area of cardboard used to make one box. If suppose we want to find out the area of cardboard used to make 50 boxes, then in that case, first of all we have to find out the total surface area of one box. After that we have to multiply it with 50. Now let us consider the second figure. Second figure is also cuboidal in shape. So here also we have to find out the total surface area of this box. The total surface area of this box will give us the area of cardboard required to make this box. Now let us see the next topic of this chapter, which is most important: transformation of one shape to another. It means that we can transform one shape into the another shape. For example, if suppose I have considered a cylinder whose height is given 5 centimeter and radius of base is given r centimeter, and suppose we are going to transform this cylinder into the shape of this cube whose measurement of side is given 7 centimeter. If we are transforming this cylinder into the cube of side 7 centimeter, then we have to find out the measurement of radius of this cylinder. Since we are transforming the cylinder into the cube, hence the volume of both the shapes will be equal. Whenever we will transform one shape into the another shape, then the volume of both the shapes will be equal. So here in this case also, the volume of this cylinder, that is equals to pi r square h, pi into r square into is equal to the volume of this cube, means that is equals to side cube. We can write here side cube. So measurement of side is given 7 centimeter, measurement of height is given 5 centimeter. Now we can find out the measurement of radius. On the place of pi we can place either 22 upon 7 or 3.14. After putting the value of pi, h and side, we can find out the measurement of radius. We have to remember this line whenever we are having the questions based upon the transformation of shape, then the volume of shapes will be equal. Thank you for watching this video.